Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Talking About the Big Stuff podcast with Michael Cole and Matthew Cravat. I am Michael Cole.
And I am Matthew Cravat.
All right, so tonight's episode, we're going to be talking about something that Alex just mentioned about Sarah doing to me, which is respect.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T, tell me what.
Basically, I just been thinking about, like, so I really hate when people overuse the word, like all the time. It drives me a little crazy when people are like, "That's disrespectful. You need to respect me." Blah blah blah. But lately, I have been feeling a genuine like sense that we don't, in the better, what I consider the better sense of the use of the word, we're not as a society respecting each other. Now, I'm not saying we have to respect like MAGA people, but I'm saying like obviously with everything that happened last week, like the protesters being, Megan, what's her last name? And that was was it Good?
Nicole Good.
Nicole Good. Yeah. She, she, if you've watched that video, she was being fairly respectful and was shot. And the idea of like, let's treat people with respect I
keep doing that. It's Renee Nicole Good. Nicole Good's an Olympic athlete. I think I did that during
Megan
our
Good
episodes.
Is an actress. That's what I was like.
And Megan Good's an actress. Nicole Good's an athlete. Megan Nicole Good is unfortunately no longer with us.
But we're not, and I feel like unfortunately it's one side more than the other. I mean, isn't like, we don't, I've been saying this quote to Logan a lot lately, which is the good thing about hate groups is they give you a group you can hate. So there, I don't think
it's the paradox of tolerance, right?
Yeah,
you can tolerate anything in a society except intolerance, because if you tolerate intolerance, it will eventually edge everything else out, and there'll be no more tolerance.
Right. So I don't know that we, like on the left, need to be more respectful in that way. But there are ways that we probably could be and need to be, like, as far as like, I think maybe like the way we as especially white liberals have a tendency to talk down to black conservatives, or you should know better, we have
said Jon Stewart in his old stand-up, like before the Daily Show, he had a thing like if you're black and you're a Republican, you have an identity crisis you need to deal with.
Yeah, I think it's okay to like point out there being some flaws there, but I do think there's a little bit of talking down to people about it.
I know, but it misses I think people, there's two things. Like, people miss the point of what being a Republican consists of, and it consists of not caring about anybody else. It doesn't make a difference that I'm part of a marginalized community. I don't care about anyone else in my community except me, and that links me to be a conservative. Doesn't have to be MAGA, just be a Republican means, I don't think we should have programs that help people, even if they're like me, because I don't care if they're like me. I have no empathy for anyone. Only if it affects me personally do I suddenly think it's an important issue. It's only an issue if it affects me.
Yeah.
Which kind of leads me... Sorry. I was going to say, it leads me to a thing that, and I told you both this in the text, and if you're watching this, the name kind of gives away this, the name of the episode kind of gives us away a little bit, but, there's that old saying of respect is earned, not given. And I've always felt that that's backwards, and it should be disrespect is earned, not given. Like, respect should be baseline. Now, not to say you can't earn more respect, but like basic respect, human, respect for your human dignity, for the fact that you have rights.
What is respect? See, that's a cool baseline thing. So here, I can go off on a story tangent.
Sure. Yeah.
Once upon a time, in my old corporate life, we had a speaker come in to talk to us about respect in the workplace. And he starts out like, what do you think respect is? And people talk, and one woman says something about, my old boss says something about, well, there's this one woman I work with, and when she comes in every morning, I'm like, hey, so-and-so, how are you doing? Good morning. And she just kind of grunts at me and just nods and walks away. And it's like, there's no respect there. And he goes, his name was Phil. He goes, you know what's funny? Because I talked to her on my way in, and she said, "Oh, are you going to read with this person, the one who wastes all her time gabbing with everybody in the hall about what a beautiful day it is?" Because I said, "Well, all I can do to get past her without interrupting my day. I'm trying to plan what I'm going to do for the day, and she wants to chit chat. She has no respect for being at work." And
Okay.
and my boss was like stunned. And then he tells the story. He goes, "I did marriage counseling, and I had a couple in and said, 'What's your biggest problem?' And she goes, 'He does not respect me.' And I said, 'Well, here's a pad of paper each, a pencil each. I'll give you 2 minutes. Write down what you think respect is.' And they're writing, and he's like writing. The husband's writing, smoke's coming off the graphite from the point. And it's like he's going. She just like, and stops. And he's writing. And then he goes, 'Okay, great.' And he goes to the husband, 'What do you have?' He goes, 'Well, I should include her in any decisions that I'm making. I shouldn't assume that she wants to do what I want to do. I shouldn't assume I can speak for her in public. She should have 50-50 share in every decision that's made.' Blah, blah, blah. He's going on and on and on, reading all his notes. And then he goes, 'Okay.' Says to the wife, 'What do you have?' She goes, 'He needs to call me if he's going to be late for dinner.' And like they just have a total not connection on what respect means to them. And he goes, "So here's a good story. I'm a New York Italian, and I've been living here in North Carolina for a couple of years. In New York Italian culture, maybe you guys can Northeast Italian culture, maybe the same in general. You get it. If I'm invited to someone's house, when I get to the house, I may say hello to the person who opened the door for me, but my main thing is a beeline to the patriarch of the family to pay my respects to him. And then I chit chat with everybody else. But first I go to the patriarch, and he's the person who gets the initial respect. And you must do it. And if you don't do it right away, okay, but you have to get to him and say, 'Thank you for inviting me. Oh, you're, persona non grata for the future.' He goes, 'I went to a barbecue at my neighbor's, cookout at my neighbor's, North Carolina. I didn't see him. I was there 4 hours. I talked to some people over here. I drink over here. I saw him a week later, and he's like, 'Yeah, I saw you at the party. Did you have a good time?' 'I had a great time.' 'Awesome. Love to have you there.' Didn't even need to say hi to him. He didn't care, because respect has different meanings to every person. So it's like there is no universal, this is respect. And I think for conservatives, and this is Matthew talking now, Phil, respect is, I have the power to do whatever I want, and you will respect me, and I don't have to respect you back. Like, you respecting me is treating me like I'm better than you. That's respect. Me respecting you is, I won't take away your rights.
Mm-hmm.
Like, their version of which way respect goes is real different. Like, they're like, I respected you. I didn't do anything to hurt you, but you didn't respect me. You didn't kiss my feet and give me money.
Right. Well, and that's when they say like respect is earned, not given. They mean kiss my feet, all that shit. Although, or like, I'm in a position of authority. You need to respect my authority. But like. Yeah. So
and they think they're respecting you if they don't beat you when they walk past. Right. Like, that's to them, that's respect going the other way.
So I pulled up definitions according to Oxford Languages.
I'm supposed to listen to some fancy British person.
The first one is a noun. Respect is a noun, which is a feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements. So that's
usually
what a lot of people
with a double tap to the heart. Respect.
Nice. That's what, like, when like cops and other people who like demand respect are talking about. And then there is the other kind of respect, which is what I prefer to talk about, which prefer when I'm talking about the word in general, not just for this conversation. Due regard for the feelings, wishes, rights, or traditions of others. Now, there is some extent to which, like, I would say, like, rights and feelings are going to be a little more important there than, like, wishes necessarily. And traditions can be important. Traditions can also be really fucking stupid. So, like, that vibe, though, is what I'm going for.
But again, like, even then, like, it becomes, if respecting someone's tradition, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, like I run an organization, let's say, and there's people of different religious and cultural backgrounds, and I might think their religious and cultural beliefs and traditions are stupid and inane, and internally I do not respect them.
Right.
But I make sure not to make any rules that will affect them because of their belief. Like, I'm not going to say everyone must have pork sandwiches at noon when I know that some groups don't eat meat, don't eat pork. I'm respecting the tradition, even if I think it's stupid that they're not eating it. Like I
Pork
don't
chop
respect it
sandwiches.
internally, but I respect it in the verb and how I act.
Yeah, well, the word respect can be slippery. So it can, and in the tradition sense, it can mean treat me as a person or treat me as a sense of authority. And we've already stepped in it because most conflict over this is people arguing over the different definitions of what respect means. And I always thought of it as mutual respect. That's always my general definition of it. And sometimes it means I don't do anything. My
Right.
mutual respect is me not bothering you or me not involving you in something that's got nothing to do with you, or even more so, me not telling you off because it's not going to be a fruitful end conversation.
Yeah.
And I've got better things to spend my effort on. So disrespect can often be chosen before it's even earned. In the case of I'm not going to be rude to someone, I'm just going to silently judge them and move on. So that does make me a bit of an asshole, but it also is
We
my
know.
character. And I know that.
Well, it's kind of when I used to teach improv regularly, I used to say there trust with a lowercase t and trust with a capital T. And it's like if you three of us were having to do a scene together, we would have to trust each other with a lowercase t. Like just, make yourself believe Alex is going to do the right thing when I do this. Mike is going to do this, do something appropriate, and I'm not going to have to work. I trust them. Versus when Mikey and I are in a scene together, I have capital T trust. I don't actively have to think I trust him. I just know that he'll be there. It's not. It's a second. It's not. It's automatic. It is just an ethereal thing between us. Capital T trust. Not I'm going to trust you. It's just I do trust you.
Right.
Fair. Okay.
Nice.
So it's almost like an implied over an understood sort of thing.
But it's like respect. I think I have the same thing. It's like I inherently respect the shit out of Mike. I think what he does is brilliant. I think his ability, his creativity is brilliant. His work ethic is brilliant. I respect Mike, and as opposed to saying, "Oh, there's someone you have to deal with, so you better show him respect and respect him," even though I don't know them. But I'm going to be respectful. I'm going to be polite. I'm not going to undermine them. I'm going to show them respect. But it's not the same as the respect that I have for Mike.
Do you mean me or Mikey when you're saying that?
That was you.
I appreciate that.
Mikey
I was like, I think
Mikey,
he's talking about me.
Mikey is Mikey. You're Mike.
Yeah, no. I was like,
I mean, the same things for him. The same categories would be accurate. But yeah, but it was you.
Okay, that's sweet. I appreciate that.
I was looking at your cute little face on the screen. Mm-hmm. It's just the new interpretation by ICE is you're not done with the process yet. That makes you illegal. I can deport you.
That makes you illegal,
even though it's they're picking people up at the courthouse who are clearly not doing things the wrong way. They're at the courthouse doing the process. Yeah. They have picked people up who were there for their naturalization ceremony. They have deported people right the day of their naturalization before they can get naturalized. Yeah. I mean, they're evil Gestapo fuckheads.
So it just made me think about the lack of respect in that, like, and the kid's a kid, right? Like, it's unfortunate that they're like that.
Yeah, he is being raised not to respect other people.
Right. So real quick, Madhavi said that kid has terrible parents and wouldn't be allowed in my house. And I understand that sentiment. And I don't disagree in a lot of ways with that sentiment. But what I will say is that this is the same kid that was doing an accent, and Logan was like, hey, can we not do racist accents? So, like, Logan might be a good influence on this kid that he's not going to get otherwise. So, like, and the kid is a good kid when it comes to things that aren't, like, politically being thrown out there. Like, he is a reasonably nice kid. He doesn't want to hurt people's feelings. He's getting these bad ideas. So I'm like,
I can't. Yeah, I was about to mention, is he innocent in this, or is he aware what he's doing?
He's not an asshole. But I don't want to be like preaching to the kid because I really feel like that's a thing I don't want to get into. But if Logan is like going to rub off on the kid, because like I was raised conservative, those are things that my family would probably is saying right now. They don't say it to me, luckily, but like, so I kind of get like I had liberal friends. That's part of the open door for me that brought me over. So like I think there is a little bit there that I'm like, like obviously I'm going to be talking to Logan every chance I get about like no. Like I've mentioned in the past with the alpha male red pill shit. Like it's gonna come through sometime soon with some friend or another.
He doesn't have to know a friend. He's going to see it on YouTube. I mean, the older he gets, the less you're going to monitor his YouTube and his stuff. And the more he's going to, watch a YouTube video at school with someone who you've never met.
Right. So I do get the idea that like I basically what I want to do is just like have Logan intellectually be prepared for it as much as possible. But
I will say there was a kid repeating shitty parent stuff in our neighborhood, and we told Leah to stand up for herself, and she did. And the father came to my door complaining, and I told him if he didn't get off my property, I would front snap kick him down the hill into the street. And he was like, "You'll do what?" I said, "I will kick your ass until you're laying bloody in the street. Get the hell away from my house." And he left my house.
nice.
And so I will also tell my daughter to talking to your kid about how Jesus is not real and God isn't real, and you'll have to deal with that conversation and get the fuck away from my house.
Yeah.
You're welcome to have it if you want. I don't think it'll go the way you like.
Well, and and Leah was like, single digits, at that point, so younger probably than these kids are now. At that point, when I was willing to destroy the religious upbringing of a kid because she was being shitty to my daughter. So I'm saying to Mike is, you're a better parent than I am.
Yeah.
But I was so ready to kick that guy in the jaw. It's like I was still young enough and flexible enough 10 years ago that I could kick you in the head easily.
Yeah. Well, I think that like a lot of these parents know, like I think we're in this situation of like everyone quietly knowing what everybody else's stance is and being like, let's just never broach the subject. Like, because I told you one time I was at a parent teacher in the last year and parent teacher conference or whatever, and I ran into another parent and I said something about like, oh, I got to go because I'm recording a podcast or something, and they were like, "Oh, what's the topic or whatever? What are you doing? What are you talking about? Whatever it was." And I was like, "Socialism, like how great socialism is." And because I'm not like the one I will not like I'll try not to preach to people, but instead, what I'll do is I'll just be like, "I'm open. Come talk to me if you want to," and none of them do, because they don't want to get into it, and I seem unhinged.
It isn't unhinged as much as it is. So a lot of folks on the topic of respect, the you and I not being native Southerners, actually all three of us are not. There's a lot of expectation that Southerners, I think, share way too freaking much, and I don't care about any of these things you're about to try to tell me about. I don't care about your kids. I don't care about your life. I didn't ask you, but I'm not going to be rude and say, not right now, I don't want to hear it. But I'm also not going to be super engaged and I'm going to try to distance myself. My mother told me the least you can do is say, that's nice. Or that sounds fun. And just kind of, move away from it tactfully. But in a lot of situations, you can have like personal admiration, civility, or professional respect, like really just all three fight at what this respect thing means. And I mean, with talking to other people's children, if it's your home, it's how you choose to govern your home. So Madhavi's here saying, no, I immediately went and spoke to the children and the parents, and it's your house. That's totally what you're to do.
Yeah. No,
there's no way around that.
Yeah. And I agree.
Your son needs to pick better friends. I mean, geez.
Yeah. Like, I think of Logan as being like Alex, you're the right age. Matthew, you could have watched this, but I don't know that you would. Boy Meets World. Everybody familiar with Boy Meets World?
Oh yeah,
I'm familiar with it. I've seen probably 3 or 4 segments of episodes.
Okay.
Like turned it on, watched 10 minutes, go, this is stupid.
So I think that Logan, not that his character as a human being is like Corey Matthews, but he is in a
Topanga.
No. He's in a situation similar to I like to think he's in a situation similar to Corey Matthews, which is that he has parents who are trying to do their best, are they're fairly open, for 1999 parents of a teenager, like they were pretty progressive in a lot of ways, and they were they gave the kids freedom, but they also they weren't negligent. There was that they were in that sweet spot. Now I like to think Sarah and I are close to that sweet spot. One of my favorite things about that show is that Corey's best friend Sean Hunter, his family life is a fucking mess. And the thing that saves Sean is the Matthews family, is just them existing. They're not like overwhelmingly like, but like his friendship with Corey leads to like moments where like his dad isn't there, so he has Corey's father is able to step in tiny moments, and the community has come around it. So like I look at it as like, not that I want to do all that shit, but I look at it as the sense of like Logan being a good friend to somebody might be that like Corey Matthews moment.
Yes.
Where like, oh, your dad, like they've said, because I don't care when they swear, they're like, your dad's cool. Like, and I'm like, if I'm there and they're like, oh, when they're 15, 16, they're like, hey, I am in this situation. What do you suggest? Like, I'm going to be there as much as I can be to be like, okay, so that's why I'm like, not like, but at the same time, I'm like all like with Logan, I'm like, no, I want you to know like that's not correct. Like that's not how we're going to do it. You don't have to fight that
it's
fight.
It's good for him to have a good negative role model too, for you to be able to lessen
like a comparison. Yeah.
Right. And like, I always say, I've said to some people, like, you don't know how good a job you're doing because we're not raising 9-year-olds, we're raising future adults. And so like like there's moments when your child is going to seem shitty because, like temper tantrums and all these other things. And it's like, well, good behavior in the moment may often be counter, not intuitive, but like, counterproductive towards an adult. Like I was a really well-behaved kid. I was taught never to interrupt. And now when I'm in conversations with certain people, I sit there and I'm not able to speak because I won't interrupt.
Yeah. It's funny. It's just like there's personality traits that you don't want in your children. Right. That are the personality traits you see as the people who become VPs in their company really fast.
Yeah.
Like, well, and I say, like, you tell your kid, don't be rude, don't be pushy, don't be so competitive. But those are the people who move up through the corporate chain. If that's that's a measure of success for you.
Yeah. Well, I say to a couple of friends of mine there that like kind of will complain about how tough it is with their kids, and I'm like, yeah, but all the things you're describing are going to make your kid like able to advocate for themselves when they're an adult. Like your 3-year-old might be obnoxious as a 3-year-old, but when she's a 25 or a 30-year-old, she's not going to like let people walk all over her, which is a good thing.
And maybe it skips a generation. Like Mikey raised, Ricochet Rita, and she's a nightmare, but her sons are great. Like their boys are amazing. So as I told Mikey yesterday at lunch, like he has the best grandsons in the world. I love his grandkids. His daughter, I could take her leave, but the grandkids, amazing.
My situation and raising was a lot like Mike's in that it's a lot more of a pleaser kind of mentality. Don't step, don't push, don't ruffle feathers, don't pet the cat backwards, all that. And then as an adult, I'm none of those things now. I'll be aggressive and abrasive if it means I get the end result I'm looking for, which is probably why I was a salesperson for a long time. But in a lot of situations, I can look at like my adolescent past or my young adult past and think, you know what? If I had more of a self-aware mentality, more like maybe Matthew had, I wouldn't have been in those situations because I would have had self-respect first before being so concerned about respecting someone else or letting that other person be a little more pushy or advantageous for themselves before me. And there are scenarios where I know for all of my nieces and nephews, I'm going to be the cool uncle that they want to do things with because we don't have kids. We're not going to. We have a dog. We don't have any of the trappings that they come from, given my family or her family. So I know I'm going to be that. And I'm looking forward to being that positive role model for these young ladies and guys. But at the same time, they're going to look at me and say, oh, Uncle Alex, you don't act like that. I was like, I didn't get it right. And you're going to. So it's maybe some of the things that parents feel, like you were saying, Matthew. Those are such excellent grandsons in comparison to how much of a horror Rita is.
Yeah.
Well, he's being sarcastic.
I'm aware.
Okay.
Because I just looked over the chat. I'm like, oh, God, what's she going to say?
I will to your point about like, well, you're not that way, Alex. Well, your nieces and nephews saying that. I end up having the conversation with my sister-in-law quite a bit about. She'll be like, "Well, we were allowed to do that," and I'm like, I we know more, and we want like
Yeah.
she gets it, but she'll be like, like she was saying a few weeks ago or a couple months ago actually, the kids were kind of like swearing in front of Sarah's dad, and she was like, we would never have sworn in front of our grandparents, and I'm like, yeah, but you didn't have a good relationship with your grandparents. Like, do you want that? Like,
Right.
they have a great relationship with their grandfather. Like yeah, he
Well,
doesn't
it goes
love
back
it
to
with
respect, which is really respect. Pretending
yeah
I will say the right words around you because or I could be myself around you and we can really know each other, which is the
That.
real
Yeah.
respect.
yeah
That, yes.
But it's the same. It goes
yes.
back to what Phil said. If you ask two people what respect is, one would say respect is being on your best behavior, and the other says respect is having an open relationship. And neither one's wrong. It's just two different types of respect.
So you're saying that
Yeah.
Sarah and I should have an open relationship because that
I have been saying that for years, and Sarah keeps telling me no. Mike said no.
Is that why he keeps trying to invite me over, Matthew?
Mike has not said no.
So I really think the minimum for me personally that I owe strangers is just civility, because I don't believe that I can correctly engage with most people. My wife, completely different. She's friends with her neighbors. She wants to have a chatty chat with them. I don't want to talk to them at all. But I'm not rude to them. They wave, I wave. They say hi, I say hi. Like, that's the limit.
I really like the way you put that you owe them civility. I think people get civility and respect confused. Sure. Civility could be a sign of respect, but it is not in and of itself respect.
It is for me.
And it is really what you owe the person. You don't owe them respect, you owe them civility.
Sure.
And to my original point about, earning, I'll be civil to you until you earn my respect or disrespect. But the neutral starting place is I'll be civil to you. I'll give civility.
Earn my
doesn't mean I respect you.
or disrespect.
Yeah, because I don't know which one
you're going to earn one of them. Which one do you want?
Yeah.
You're going to get one or the other.
I do think there's a little bit more than civility that I look at. Like, so when you talk about the kid that was deported to Cuba, or the protesters that were around Renee Good's situation, that because there were protesters there before she got shot,
Nicole.
right? So
this poor woman.
I thought you said it was
Good.
Renee.
We're gonna get it right. It is. We're gonna get it right.
So she, those people, I wouldn't say that they necessarily just need civility. Like they're abstract to some extent because I don't know who that kid is. I don't know who those random people are that are around her. And I think that they deserve the basic human respect, which I think is more than civility. Civility is not saying bad things necessarily.
Correct.
To me, I do think that they deserve, as an abstract, as like, okay, these are just random people. This isn't, and like I said before, the group, it gives you a group you can hate. Like, you can hate Nazis just by knowing that they're Nazis. Like, you can't really do that with any other group that's not a hate group, right? Like, you can't be like, I hate, black people.
I don't know if you're out there protesting mask and social distancing protocols because you're like, I'm a young, healthy person, so I shouldn't have to follow those rules. I'll be fine if I get sick. And you don't care.
I hope you get sick with all the
people,
lepers you're playing with, and don't bother me.
Yeah, you don't care if other people get sick or if they're stuck in their homes because they can't leave because there's no protocols to protect them. I don't have to respect you with that opinion. It doesn't make you a hate group, but I don't have to respect you with that opinion.
Yeah, okay. So that good point. But
people who want to get rid of SNAP benefits and Medicaid and Medicare and everything else, I don't respect them in any way, shape, or form. They're not hate groups necessarily. They're just Republicans, but I don't respect them.
They're just people with bad morals.
The necessarily is doing so much weight in that.
In
sentence.
one word.
I know. It is. So do we okay, in that case, as progressive thinking individuals, what do the three of us from two different generations with two different size families, what do we owe our audience or our critics? So I owe our audience a good, entertaining, informative podcast. And to people that are my critics, I owe them feedback. That's really what I think. Like, I'm not going to jump in the comments and always, try to fight everybody in there. But at the same time, if they say some goofy ass shit, I'm going to call them out because it's my platform to do so. So I think both of them are being respectful because I'm treating the brand with respect. I'm treating how we stand with respect by not backing down to it the way young Alex probably would. Oh, I'm just going to let you think that way. Sort of action.
Yeah. I first of all, I don't think that we're as informative as we like to think. I like to think that we are thoughtful. Because informative kind of
I like that better.
It's
No,
a
I like
quality.
that better.
I'm not even that, but okay.
I was gonna say, informative is a quality claim. I don't know we can always back up. Thoughtful, I think. I usually go into these topics
Thought-provoking
thoughtfully.
maybe, but I'm making this shit up. So yeah,
Sure.
Well,
Okay.
Mikey doesn't even
everything.
exist. That's not even a real person. I'm just.
This is all part of your delusion. So Adam
Right,
is
right.
my delusion, and I'm your delusion. So Adam
least-
is like
would say at
Inception
least-
too deep.
At least my delusion is in the chat, so we know he at least can type from wherever.
Oh,
whatever
Mikey! I
void
thought you
he's
said.
in.
I thought you meant me that time.
No,
We've
Mikey,
had Mikey on the. Well, we've had Adam on the podcast too. Just so we're clear.
No, we've had Mike too. I remember that
You
episode.
claim you have when we weren't around.
Go back and listen to episode 1.
Oh, you got someone to talk on the episode and say your name is Adam. That proves a lot.
See, this doesn't feel very respectful.
Is it
But
civil?
it's civil.
Is it civil? So, like, I really think there's a difference between being disrespected and feeling disrespected, because respect being a feel word is all about interpretation. It's got very little rigid guidelines involved. So Mike and I worked at the same office. We worked at the same company. We had desks that shared a wall. The two of us would even treat certain people or treat the same person two different ways.
Right.
And that is because on the spectrum of how the three of us sit and the way we interact with each other, we've discussed it in past episodes, he is very much still a pleasing mindset. I'm kind of in the middle, and Matthew would trip them in the hallway. So in this kind of situation...
Yeah, but to be fair to me, my dad sold wheelchairs and crutches and shit. So that's how we got new customers.
Hey, you got to keep them coming in somehow, whether they fall in, trip in, or come in on their toes.
When things were
So
slow, I'd go outside
really
and trip people.
Also, Mikey says
I
he's
really
CGI. And,
Oh, he's not real, so he's a solid hologram?
and Ricochet Rita says powered by AI.
And Coke
And
Zero.
Coke Zero.
Well, good, because Diet Coke is gross. Diet Coke's for weirdos, Coke Zero's for normal people. So I really think that on that same spectrum, I would watch Mike and I interact with people differently, right? So I would even see that, and I would let my perceptions and how I saw this person be completely different. So I'd be almost mean. Mike would just be professional. So I was letting some of my interpretation bleed into my lack of civility with this or to this individual.
I just want to
So
I
I
just want to let everybody know that's listening to Alex right now. This is an example of how unprofessional Alex must have been that he thought I was professional.
In comparison.
Yeah.
And how far does that put me out that he thinks I'm the outer side, keep going the other way?
Yeah.
Well, okay. How about this? We both did get involved in the same HR conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
This is true.
Yeah, but
That actually had to do with this specific content.
But
But
I'm just
anyway.
saying, part of your HR conspiracy was the fact that you make a podcast with me. Like that's
Correct.
that was
True,
their
true.
problem.
Yeah.
That was their problem with you. You make a podcast with
They
me.
somehow knew there was a Jewish guy here, and they're like, nope, can't
And
be
that-
real, can't
And
be
that was
good.
back when I was employed, and I had a filter on for some of the things. I knew that some coworkers, especially some of my French coworkers, listen, and I said,
Yeah.
I need to get back.
we.
So for me, it was always, I'm not going to litigate feelings. I'm going to respect people who give me common decency, because that's a feel thing too. But to me, that's easier to interpret on an even field or on an even keel. You can have a group of people and someone asking me, hey, Alex, what are you doing? Are you looking at porn in the middle of a meeting in a professional setting, which I was not? But then at the same time, no one thought that person was being disrespectful because all of us understood the intent of the comment, right? That doesn't mean that someone else might have thought, whoa, like, is Alex really a horn dog looking at, looking at nanas at work? But then at the same time, I'm not
Nanas?
going to nanas, yes.
Oh.
Titties.
Yeah,
I'm not going to
Logan
police the
said titties
behavior.
about 1,000 times in the car ride from his guitar lesson
Takes after his dad.
Paradise City came on and where the grass is green and the girls are pretty, and he goes, where the girls have titties, and he just kept saying titties. And I was like,
let me just say this for Mikey real fast. Titties. Okay.
Titties. We're really mature over here. So I respect can be also rebuilt through patterns of two people getting along and not necessarily
if you don't
their
have
apologies.
spect in the first place, you can't have respect.
Oh. So what is PECT? PECT. Isn't that a brand of milk?
Isn't
no, that's
speck
Ket.
like a type of, like, it's almost like prosciutto? Oh, that's not the
Speck
T.
is a ham.
Yeah, that's a smoked prosciutto, I think. Is that what makes it
correct?
Speck?
I think that is correct. Hold on. My culinary knowledge needs to flex itself a little. It's not necessarily Italian. It is not necessarily the same. It is air cured the same. It is salted the same. But because it's not prosciutto di Parma made in Parma, it's not. Oh, those Italian episodes creeping up again from Cinnamon. So I really think that the patterns of being respectful to each other can also foster that more. So when I would meet somebody the first time, I'm probably judging them a little more harshly than when I first start to speak to them more often. For example, I have new coworkers at my job now, and I can be part-time, but I've already met a handful of them. Some of them I like already, some of them I don't. But I know based on my past that the ones that I'm already struggling to get along with now are the ones I'm going to be the closest with after, in the way we think, the way we work, because we're both really bold personalities, and that's why we're not being as civil to each other. I can tell already. But it's the weak ones who I'm not going to be interested in communicating with, because I'm like, you're just soft and
So Alex, you remind me of back when I was
of a girl,
an editor at Claxo. We were editing marketing material, and so a part of our day was spent in a team that was the editor, a PhD from regulatory, an MD from medical, a PharmD from pharmacy, and the marketing person and a lawyer, all in a room discussing the promotional piece. And of course, the editor was the low person in the room. They had to have a bachelor's. They might have had a master's, but everyone else had like terminus degrees. They're all high level. And I was in an editorial offsite once, and someone in HR kind of facilitating a kind of rap session, and someone said, "I hate the fact that we're treated like we should be equal to everyone in that room. We're part of the team, but we get treated like dirt. We don't get listened to. Blah blah blah." And the person goes, the HR person goes, "I hear you saying that, but I'm going to say, Matthew, Elaine, Stuart, do you guys feel that way in your teams?" And the three of us like, no. And he goes,
no.
I can tell in this room that the three of you are rude to the people you work with, and you're up in their face, and you push back when they push against you. And I think most of the rest of you, and maybe I'm missing one or two, are just take it and are quiet and meek and polite. And I'll tell you that most of the people in marketing don't hear you if you are quiet and meek and polite. They are type A, in your face, aggressive people. And that's not, to them, it's not aggressive, it's norm. So if you're that way to them, they hear you and think of you as an equal. If you're quiet and meek, they don't think of you poorly. They just don't think of you. Like they just miss the fact that you're there.
Yeah.
And it was like it was, me and Stuart, Stuart's a nice, good old boy, but he's a very, powerful personality. Elaine worked on the Wall Street Journal. She's from from Connecticut, but worked in New York City. So she had that New York attitude of worker. And of course, me. So he was, I'm so right. We were the ones that were seen by our teams as 100% part of the team. Like we would get the call, marketing's going out for wings. You want to go out with us? But the other editors were like seen as secretaries in the room because they acted that way to marketing. Sometimes you got to to get what you see as respect, you have to be seen by the other people, and to be seen, sometimes you have to play a certain role.
Yep.
You do. That is
Sorry,
true.
I've been in the chat while you were talking.
Wow.
So anyway, I'm really fucking hungry, so I'm gonna like.
You were just eating, dude. You were just eating. What the
I
hell,
ate
dude?
two
You
little
ate a
slices.
slice of pizza. Yeah, that's another thing with V pizza. It's little baby pizzas.
Yeah,
I don't respect that.
It's a
I don't
little
respect-
baby pizza. It's not a very respectful pizza. It's a little baby pizza.
All right. So, do we have any last things to hit on before we start wrapping things up?
I would say that you two are not always polite to me, and you're not always nice to me, which is how I know how much you respect me. 'Cause I think that's another thing that in some levels, and maybe it's like curse profanity in front of the grandparents. Our show of we are equal and respect each other is the fact that we just insult each other all the time. Like that's respect, not disrespect for us. Disrespect would be like, I'm being really, really polite to you because I don't fucking like you and I'm not going to let that show.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think
Agreed.
in that
No,
way, I
totally
think you do
agreed.
respect both of us more than we respect you. But
that's just because you're not as funny as me, so you're not good at it. I understand that you're not as creative as I am, so you're not as good at it. But
it's getting spicy.
Also, this is probably TMI, but I'm going to say it because it's been driving me crazy the entire fucking record. But I need to get rid of my facial hair. It's driving me fucking nuts. But my trimmers got packed by the movers, and so I haven't gone out and bought new trimmers. And because I'm starting to get grays, I have one gray right here in my mustache.
I think I got one coming in.
And it looks like a fucking ridiculous nose hair, and it's not. It is a mustache hair.
Like
I just want it to be clear. It looks like I have one, and I think it's also being made worse by the light. It
starts at your brain and comes all the way down.
It looks like I think the light is just reflecting perfectly.
It's not a mustache hair. That's a nose hair that's mingled with your mustache hair.
No, it's actually a brain hair. It's coming all the way. No, it just looks nuts.
All the way down.
If you're really tough, you do is take a hammer and you hammer it in, then you bite it off from the inside instead of trimming it.
I feel like there's nothing more disrespectful to me than my own face. So
yeah, that's true. And I can understand why you wouldn't want to have any gray in your beard. I don't know what I would do if I had gray in my beard.
I'm not ashamed of the gray in my beard. It's just that this one being another color coming right from my nose, like just looks.
It's the mingling of the colors you don't like. I get it. Clip
you
that
need to deport that brown hair.
Oh my god!
And just make it all white. No? Oh, okay.
So if you're watching this video, please like the video.
I don't even want to add a tag
about what Alex just said.
I don't even want to add a joke because I don't want to. I don't want to like pull. I don't want to like be clipped.
I want to make it easy to edit out.
He said white is right, and I'm like my hair color. My hair. All right.
If you happen to be watching us live, please like the stream. Don't report it. Clip it. Only the good parts.
Yep.
Oh, Christ.
All right. So, Matthew, you start us off with the...
Yeah, so if you're watching one of these video clips or the full-length video edited for content, then please go ahead and like the video. Make comments below. Comment on things you like, things you don't like, things you agree with, things you don't agree with, things that will get the algorithm to notice us. We're not picky.
Yeah.
The good way.
Yep.
In the good way.
Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you're so inclined, hit the notification bell because you never know when we're going to go live. I mean, you kind of know it's probably Monday night, but is it 6:30? Is it 5:30? Is it 7? We'll never tell, but you'll know if you have notifications turned on.
I think I got too loud and he thought I was done. So he was like, can you help me? And I'm like, do you need help? Yeah. Anyway, so if you're wanting to help us in a non just like thumbs up kind of way, you can go to patreon.com/talking about the big stuff. Matthew, you look like you're farting. You look like you're like leaning one side.
No, slash. Talking about the big stuff. I was getting ready for the slash. I was getting ready for that slash. I knew it was coming.
That's patreon.com/talking about the big stuff.
Sometimes when you go like that, I think you're trying to hit me. So I like got to dodge.
There you'll be able to find the 4 different options we have, the free option and then the 3 paid options. Obviously, we have our preferences to which one you pick, but we like you no matter what. But
we don't respect you.
Right. We want to respect you more, like $10 a month more. Yep. And so if you want to go over and do that, that'd be great. Keep in mind that like some of us are displaced from our homes right now.
We're the spectrum of employment.
Yeah.
Like,
The spectrum
part-time.
of employment.
part-time, not employed, and done with employment.
No, exactly. We have the three phases all represented right
Except
here.
for full-time.
We are
We're just
respecting
done
the
it
three
full-time.
levels of
I
employment.
like to think of myself as self-employed. I'm just not getting paid anything.
Yeah. I'm self-unemployed.
So you're
But if you want-
self-volunteering?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Self-interning.
But
Self-interning.
yeah. And also, if you are interested in checking Alex and I out on talking about movies, we have the Cinemen podcast over on Chocolate Diamond Media's YouTube channel or Cinemen wherever you find podcasts. And we're doing Italian month, so that's fun. Matthew is going to be on it. We're hoping to have him on an episode eventually. We just haven't picked a movie that seemed like a Matthew movie yet. So
I think we should do the Star Trek film because he is a big Star Trek fan, and I've never seen any of them.
I've never seen the first one. Actually, I've never seen any of the movies.
Well,
I've seen some of the
if you're
shows.
going for the original series, spin-off movies, only the even number ones are good. Just so you know.
That's easy to
The
remember.
first is long and boring. The third is ditzy and dinky. The second, great. The fourth, great. The fifth one,
All right.
Shatner directed. The sixth one, really, really good. Go with the even numbers.
I love how in the late
Okay, go with
70s,
even
early
numbers.
80s, all the movies that were adaptations had to have the movie or the motion picture in the title.
I mean, I think it was just Superman and Star Trek were the first ones to do it.
No, there was one the other day that came
Star Trek
up.
the motion. I think they were the first two I remember doing it. Superman the movie and
Transformers,
Star Trek
I'm
the
pretty
motion picture.
sure.
Yeah, that was 1985.
Transformers,
These other
the
ones
movie.
were in the 70s.
I said 70s and 80s. Didn't I just say that?
Yeah. I think that was a differentiate because it wasn't the cartoon. But like they're the only one that did it. Maybe it's Transformers. I mean, maybe some others did it, but it was like I remember Superman the movie and Star Trek the motion picture were like the first two to do it, and the two that like distinctly did it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why Superman did it. Like it wasn't necessary. It was the first Superman movie. They didn't need to do it for Superman.
Yeah.
Where Star Trek, it made sense that it was the motion picture. It was a big deal that, especially because Star Trek was a failed TV show. It was not a successful show.
Right. Well, and it had the original cast too. So like it was whereas Christopher Reeve was like a full reboot, like from the George Reeves, which also always.
But that was also decades later. It wasn't even it was completely
The Star Trek motion picture was like 15 years later, wasn't it? After the show?
But George Reeves was the 50s.
True, yeah.
Superman was
Star
Trek was late
he was
60s.
original cast?
Star Trek was like 10 years later.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And
well, we don't do television shows, so we do need to find a movie that you can
watch.
So odd numbers are worthless, even numbers are good, but like do you have to see the even numbers or the odd numbers to enjoy the even ones, or no?
The ship they're in Star Trek 4 starts with them, like picks up right after Star Trek 3, so there are elements of Star Trek 3 that are important to Star Trek 4. Star Trek 1 and 2 have nothing to do with it. Like 1 is the crew's being pulled back together after 10 years.
Yeah.
And 2 is 5 years after that. So it's not at all a connection to 1. 1 is its own little thing out. Which 1 is kind of like watching a not Stanley Kubrick quality 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's long and it's stretched and boring, and there's like a 20-minute scene of looking at a spaceship from the outside, but without the artistry of Kubrick to back it up that you have the long boring part.
Was it just trying to be fan service? Is that why it went the way it did, or was it trying to just make a really long Star Trek episode into movie length?
It's because they didn't make it Star Trek-y enough. It was much more, we're going to make a science fiction movie than make Star Trek, which was Wagon Train to the Stars. There was no action adventure to it. It was just a pure science fiction.
Yeah.
It was kind of probably based on, inspired by 2001. Like that's the motif we're going for, but not as good.
Okay. I have the same frustration with like some of the Star Wars stuff. Some of the not canon is the best Star Wars that has ever been made, but it's not a film. And then some of it, like Bad Batch, is Bad Batch. Let's follow Omega around, or sorry, Omega, because she's New Zealand.
Yeah,
So it isn't that it's
but I tell
bad;
you,
it's
the
just
one thing
not
about
great.
Wrath of Khan, so Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan, you need to rewatch the original series episode Space Seed because it's a part 2 to that.
Okay.
At the end of
When you
Space
said
Seed, there's
rewatch
like,
the original, I was
imagine
like,
if
oh God, how many?
no, just one
I
episode. There's one
watched-
episode where at the end they go, it'll be interesting to come back and see what fruit has grown from the space seed we have planted. And that's what Wrath of Khan is. It's going back to that episode. So you need that episode to know who the fuck everybody is and why they exist.
So
Fair.
this little bit of extra is us respecting you as an audience by giving you a bonus.
Additional
of us-
Here's what
content.
happens behind the scenes, and we're discussing what we're doing. But what I want you to all to know right now is thank you for hanging around with us talking about the big stuff. We respect you, even if we just made fun of you, or at least I did, for the last 20 minutes.